Welcome back to the channel, and I'm here at one of my favourite places, which is when I go on the bike, which is the Goat Gap Cafe on the A65 just short of Ingleton. Brilliant, staff's fantastic, the food's great, and yeah, nice and welcoming. So I guess you want to know the secrets to curing permanently your mental health. Well, I've done it, and I am going to share my techniques and secrets with you today. But first, let's go for a ride and hit the road, shall we? Alright, lads and lasses, it's time we had another word. A proper one. No sales pitches, no fake positivity, no TikTok gurus telling you just to manifest it. Today we're talking about the serious business of mental health and what happens when you don't sort your head out. Now, if you saw my last video, you'll know I had a bit of a wobble. Well, not so much as a wobble, but as a full-blown mental landslide, I would say. 25 years of chasing targets, eating stale service station pasties, and pretending to care about products finally caught up with me. And then the lockdown came along, like a big sledgehammer to my already cracked brain. And here's the thing, I know for some of you watching are carrying that same weight right now. Maybe work, family, money, illness, or just this god-awful modern life we've built for ourselves. And if you don't get a handle on it, it'll have you. Quietly, slowly, then all at once. I don't mean to be dramatic, but it's the truth. Mental health isn't just about feeling a bit sad sometimes. It can kill you. It very nearly killed me. And it does take good people down every single day. So if you're struggling, don't be a stubborn old git like me and leave it until you're hanging by a thread. But here's where the good news comes in, because it turns out there's a way out of this mess. And it's not in the bottom of a pint glass or on your phone scrolling inspirational quotes from people called Chakra Steve. It's in your own bloody head. And no, before you ask, I'm not about to flog you a £299 course. What I'm about to share with you is exact mind technique I use to permanently fix my mental health. Not to manage it, not to cope with it, but to fix it. Now, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, I'm certainly not a therapist, and I've definitely failed my psychology at school. But what I am is a bloke who's been through it, come out the other side and figured out what actually works in the real world. Because here's the problem with most advice out there. It's designed for people sat in air-conditioned offices, not for people like us. People who live for the outdoors, for the ride, for the escape. People whose brains aren't wired to sit in silence and picture a calming forest scene. I tried that once. I just ended up picturing the M62 motorway at rush hour. So I had to come up with something different, something practical, and this technique I'm about to explain changed everything for me. It's about rewiring the way your brain processes pressure, anxiety, and that relentless internal monologue that keeps telling you you're not enough. Spoiler alert, that voice is full of shit. So in the next section of this video, I'm going to break it down for you, step by step. No fluff, no psychobabble, just dead, simple, brutally effective mind trick that stops the spiral in its tracks, takes the heat out of your head and gets you back in control of your life. And the best part, you can do it anywhere. On your bike, in your car, even halfway up a mountain, when you realise you've forgotten the bloody coffee. So if you're ready to stop surviving and start living again, stick around. Because if it worked for this stubborn old salesman with a head full of chaos, it can work for you too. And before some smart ass in the comments asks, no, it's not just go for a walk and think positive thoughts. If it was that easy, I'd have done that back in 2007 and saved myself a fortune in pub tabs and therapy books. So, I'm going to pull over when I see a convenient place to stop, take a rest, open my flask, sit down, and I'm going to share my technique with all of you that has actually worked for me. So my buddies and beauties, I guess you all want to know the secret to how I cured permanently, I believe, my mental health and my struggles. And how I think a lot more positively now, very, very rarely negativity. So it's all good. And I'm going to tell you how I do it. So I'll briefly recap on the last video where I just give you a taste. And that was basically what I do is, before I go to bed at night, I have a quiet moment. I don't meditate, but I do just breathe in through my nose, out through my mouth very slowly for about 5 to 10 times. Just calms me. shut my eyes, and then I imagine, so I now imagine in my mind, I have a oak-lined hallway, and along that hallway there's doors, big oak wooden doors either side. So I did say that one of my rooms is my alarm clock room, so I go into that, through that door, and in that room there's a big grandfather clock. Now, you can have any room you want, it doesn't have to be oak lined like mine, it's just what I like. It can be any room, it can be even glass room, but it could be any clock. So anyway, I have my grandfather clock, and as I was saying in the last video, basically how I visualize. So first of all, look at my clock before I shut my eyes, look at my watch and see what time it is actually, and then when I shut my eyes and do the imaginative bit, I actually think I'm in the room. I see myself as in the room. I actually look at the clock and I see the clock, and I see it at the time it is now, and I imagine what time I'm going to wake up. That might be 7 o'clock, and I watch that go forward until 7 o'clock in my mind and stop, and then I go to sleep. Really, really works for me. Every time I've done it, it works. No need for alarm clocks. Anyway, if you don't trust me, do it when you're not working, a weekend or something. That's if you don't trust it, but hey, it absolutely works for me. So, onto the real guts of it and how I cured my mental health. It isn't that difficult. Anybody can do it. So, imagine, again, going back to my corridor, my hallway in my mind, I imagine, and I do this, like I say, the routine is before I go to sleep, always. So, got me alarm clock room, that's great. My next room is my library. And in my library I have a nice, it's oak lined again, nice oak desk and lots of shelves with books on them. And this room I use to store really good memories. So if I've had a good day, I think of that day, I think of being sat at the desk and writing down everything that happened that day that was positive. Make a note of the date if I can remember. And then bang, shut that notebook and file that on the shelf in my library, in my mind. And bang, it's done, it's a positive memory, it's brilliant. Also use my library for if I want to learn things. So I'll imagine if I want to learn something about a motorbike, I imagine myself reading up about the motorbike and how I can do certain things, or whatever in life you want to achieve. I kind of go in there in my library and do a bit of studying in my mind. This is all in my mind. And yeah, so that's my library room. So, what about the next room? The next room is an odd one, but it works for me. And that is a room that has a trap door in it. And the trap door is for taking out the trash. So if I've had a bad day or something horrible or not really good or something negative has not happened, or sorry, has happened during the day, then what I do is at night, I go into the trap door room. And that memory, I think about what happened, how I felt, and then I imagine that being boxed up and going down that trap door into a chute to nowhere, deleted, gone. And that is my trapdoor room. That's for getting rid and taking out the garbage. So the next room kind of follows on from the trapdoor room. I've got rid of the garbage. What do I want to do? So then I have an oak-lined room with a nice shower unit and a lovely bath. And I get cleansed. I thoroughly clean myself of all that garbage. Imagine myself showering and having a lovely bath salts, and relaxing, and all that negativity is gone. Boom, garbage. And I come out and I feel fresh and I feel great. So that's what I use that room for. Whenever I have garbage, always go into the bathroom with the shower. So this is another imaginative room down that corridor, down the hallway. So then what else have I got? What other rooms have I got? Well, I'm not very religious. I kind of am and I'm not. I don't know. I don't know whether I believe or I don't. It's kind of, I'm a bit mixed up when it comes to religion. Not saying I don't believe, not saying I do believe. I'm like on the fence. But I am quite spiritual. And being spiritual, I love the universe, the stars, you know, the what's out there apart from planet Earth. So yeah, I have an observatory room where I have an open ceiling, glass ceiling, where I can see the stars and the system and, you know, parts of the universe. And I use that for if I want to, spiritual type of, you know, if I want to feel good or, you know, just generally feel positive, I use that room for just gazing and relaxing. Imagine looking at the stars, and it's awesome. So then the next room is another special room. Again, it's an oak-lined room. And this room is special. It is my time machine room. So again, I have an oak-lined room. It's got a time machine in there. And that time machine is for one purpose only. And that is when I go in there, switch on the time machine, and imagine what I'd like to happen in the future. Where I want to be in 6 months, 1 year's time, or 5 years' time. That's what I focus on in that room. And again, it's all positivity. Keeps the mind positive. And believe it or not, I'll not tell you just yet. That'll be for a later video. But what I've imagined in there is a couple of times kind of happened. Only small things, but I think, you know, you start small and you build way up. So yeah, that's that room. I mean, for you guys as well, going back to my spiritual room, you could have a room with the inside of a church in it if you want to go and pray at night in there, you know, and use that. That's a good idea if you're very religious. So yeah, my time machine room, that's what I have for the future, for dreaming about what I want to happen, what I want to achieve. I wish I'd have had all these tools, these mental tools, many, many years ago. But hey, got to start somewhere, haven't you? I'm 57 and, you know, I want to live for a lot longer. So these tools I'm using, yeah, I think are really good. Certainly, you know, if you can do it yourself like I'm doing, imagination, I think, is the key. Let's face it, this looks after all this. So anyway, lastly, I have one more room. And what is that room? It's a medicine room. So, again, it's oak lined and it has shelves on every side. Lots of shelves. And on those shelves is all different types of potions and medicines. Some natural, well, mostly all natural. Because I'm not big again on tablets and stuff, but everything natural, potions, liquids for healing. So let's say I've got a headache, or I've got a migraine or something like that. I'll shut my eyes, again do my breathing, doesn't matter what time of day. And I'll go into my medicine room and imagine choosing a bottle of potion for migraine. I'll imagine myself, I'll see myself drinking it. And I'll see myself, oh yeah, just chilling, relaxing. Hey, it's worked for me. It's definitely worked for me. So, I don't know. Will it work for you guys? Let me know. Tell me in the comments, Try it. You never know. It 100% works for me. I have no idea whether it works for anybody else, but hey, you're not losing anything if you don't give it a go. Cured my mental health. Let's hope you cure yours. That's what I really believe. So anyway, let's get back on that bike and do a bit more healing, shall we? So, all you buddies and beauties, I hope you've enjoyed my little video and my delve into mental health and how I have cured it for myself. And I hope my techniques work for you guys like they've worked for me. So, if they have or they haven't, leave your comments and thoughts below, and let's engage. Let's not suffer, because life is about living. I'm not saying that life is easy, but you need tools to be able to deal with things, especially the negatives. So, I shall leave you for now until my next ride of freedom and enjoyment. I bid you farewell. Ta-da.